Today I'd like to take a look at a mask that was made on a very limited basis, and that is the Enik the Altrusian mask. And as many of you probably know, this character is from the children's TV series by Sid and Marty Krofft that appeared on television from 1974 to 1976. And so this mask is really the only mask of this character that I've ever seen. I'm fairly sure that it is the only one that's ever been created. And I purchased this mask, this copy from Dr. Lady, David Lady, at MaskFest 2016. At the time, I really didn't get a whole lot of information on it from him, other than the fact that he painted this, and so he was kind enough to provide some additional information to me for the making of this video. Now, this mask is, as I mentioned, it is painted by Dr. Lady, and it is sculpted by Matt Geuther. Now, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I probably am not. Here in the video, I'll spell it out, and so I won't try to pronounce it again. But Matt, he had a company by the name of Mask Masters, which you can still find on Facebook, but the website itself is not there anymore. And according to Dr. Lady, he was getting out of the mask business, and so Dr. Lady, David Lady, picked up quite a few blanks from him of various masks and molds, and this was one of them. So this was then painted by Dr. Lady, and as I said, he had it available at MaskFest, and I really couldn't resist it because I was a big fan of the show as a kid. I was, between the ages of 11 and 13 when the show was originally on. So the first season in particular, here's a splash screen, by the way, of the show itself, the logo and the characters, Marshall, Will, and Holly. I think everybody's probably kind of familiar with that. I really couldn't resist this mask because that show was really fascinating to me as a kid. It was actually very well written, at least the first season was. There were some writers that crossed over from Star Trek and wrote a lot of those first episodes, so they're actually really well written if you go back and watch them. The special effects, everybody always makes fun of the dinosaurs and everything that's sort of a lesser quality than Hollywood stuff, but the writing is pretty good. David Gerrold from Star Trek and even Walter Koenig wrote episodes for that first season, and so this paint job, I think it's great. It's pretty accurate to the actual mask that was used on the show. Here's some photos of that you can see from the show, and so this is pretty accurate to that. The eyes were glowing a little bit more red on the show, but these do sort of have a red tint to them. They're black, and they're painted in such a way as to really look like they're caps. They really almost look translucent, where you could see through them. That's pretty cool. This mask is uncut in any way. It's also unmarked completely, but it displays really nice. It's really cool. It's really accurate to the show character, and as I said, I really couldn't resist. And not to get too into the storyline of the show itself, but the Altrusian species, I guess you could say, was a more intelligent version. It was actually the predecessors to the well-known Sleestak characters on there. It was from the Sleestak's past, and the Altrusians could speak. So Enik could speak. He wore a tunic, as you could see in the photos. And so the Sleestak characters, which I'll show you here, they were green and taller, I believe, and Enik, of course, was brown, as you see. Now I have another I have a Sleestak mask as well, This one though is not the quality of the Enik mask, and I won't spend too much time on this except to show you the difference. So this, I got this quite a few years ago, and to tell you the truth, I don't even remember the name of the company that produced it. It's also unmarked, but it's really not that accurate to the screen versions. When I received it, of course, the prototype that was photographed looked great, but when I received it, I was disappointed. The mouth is agape here, and inside here was bright cotton candy pink. And I really never touch up or change or alter masks, but I could not take the pink mouth. And here's a picture of one unpainted, so you could see how really terrible it looked. And it was sort of misshapen. I managed to reshape it somewhat, and I painted the inside of the mouth a deeper red. But I just wanted to show you that as really, as far as I know, this is the only other Land of the Lost sleeve stack or Altrusian mask that has ever been available. So, but yeah, so Enik is a great mask. I'm really happy to have it, and I really also want to thank Dr. Lady for providing me some additional information for this video. And if you can find one, I would pick one up. I'm sure they're quite scarce. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.